Alright, what's up? This your boy B to the Bhillz, and this is Bhillz live from the basement, brought to you by Worldwide Collaborations and Quality Music Management. We got special guests today. I'm gonna go ahead and let her introduce you or introduce herself to the world or to everybody that's not familiar yet or whatever. Go ahead and tell people a little bit about like who you are and what you do, and we'll start off with that. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to just go ahead and introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about some of the things that you do, and we'll start off with that.
Okay, so my name is Regina, but I go by Talk with Gina. That's my show on Busy One Radio. Everything's spicy. I am a radio personality um, slash model slash patient advocate. Um, I do radio for hobby to help other people and artists out to support. So um, that's that's my little gig that I like doing. So
So
and it's
what was?
amazing to collaborate with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. So what were some of the your first like inspirations that made you want to start getting into that kind of work and stuff?
Well, my aunt, she's a radio personality to herself, and she she had me do it while she was down because she had to have surgery or whatever. So that inspired me to do it when she had me host her show. So when I host her show, it was kind of like it was fun. So I was like, I
Yeah,
think I can do this. I'm already a people's person, so I'm like, well, maybe I can get my own show and show my talent on, on the radio personality side. Even though I like, I deal with a lot of people every day. So,
yeah. So for the people that are interested, where can they find your show at, and what's the name of the show?
well, I do streaming too, but they can always find me on Regina Spicy Period Solo or Regina Love dot 773. I usually be on Facebook though most of the time when I'm streaming, and I'm on I stream on Busy One Radio too, so you can catch
That's
me on
cool.
their site, Busy One Entertainment, and that's on Facebook too.
That's cool. That's cool. So we've talked previously, and you mentioned that you're also a writer. Also, would you want to talk about a little bit about like what made you start getting into doing that and writing, and what was it, and how old were you whenever you first started doing that?
Well, I was in high school when I started doing that, and it was just like a inspiration to me to write poetry a little bit or comedy because I like cracking jokes too at the same time. So
Yeah,
just to make fun and just thinking and jotting down a lot of stuff that comes to mind of how I can be different.
yeah,
Um, and it was like, and I just did it.
that's
It
cool.
it was like it was just a little thing to like another hobby, pretty much is to do that.
Yeah.
So, um,
Do you have any work right now in the writing that people can go check out?
well, no, but my friend that this is my co-host now. I'm gonna try to see. Well, I'm gonna get her to collaborate with us too because she's a good writer. She's an actor. And she does more of the writing because I don't do writing like that anymore. I'm so much of in the radio, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
entertainment right now. But she definitely can and she is cold with it. Like she can write a
Yeah.
whole script for you and for me and for everybody. And, she's very good, but I don't I don't write like that anymore.
Hmm.
but I can't. But I rather have somebody else do it for me. That's
Yeah,
more that's more active of doing it daily because I know she is, and she's pretty good at it. She really is. And not even that, she was acting like a year ago. Um,
that's
and
cool.
she's a pretty good young lady. So I know
That's
she can do it. But if you need somebody to write, I can definitely put her on the mat.
that's what's up. So back on to your talk show and your podcast. What kind of topics? I know that you briefly talked about it, but what kind of topics and stuff do y'all focus on and stuff on your show?
Yeah, I do a bunch of topics. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm versatile with it because you never know what's going on out here in this world. So, I want to be versatile. So anybody that needs to like say anything, or that's why it's called Talk with Jason, because I feel like you can say anything you want. You can have any topic you want. You're not limited of what you want to talk about because the show is about everything, to business, to artists, to actors, to actors, to actress. So I don't limit my show for anything like mental health, anything like that comes to mind
Yeah.
that we want to talk about. We talk about.
Is there a particular time and day that y'all air?
I air on Mondays at 6 o'clock. And I'm a co-host for another radio personality, and that's on Wednesday, and that's at 8 o'clock, and it's called "What's Your Point?" And mainly we talk about relationships
Okay.
um, on that
Like
show. But on
so is it
my
kind of like,
show, it's huh?
or go ahead, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna
I
ask you.
said,
I was just gonna.
like on Mondays, it's at 6 o'clock. And anything like anybody that have a topic for me, that's what I pretty much be on is that topic.
That's cool. So do y'all do kind of like y'all interact with the audience and stuff like that? Like the audience can kind of interact with y'all and y'all just talk about whatever comes up.
Yes, we do. And they also can call in too, and be on air with us and give us, their comments and whatever they need to say in the topic that we're talking about. Because there's a lot of people that especially when they tapping into a different type of topic, that especially relationship topics. You get
Yeah.
more of that than anything nowadays, and mental health. But more of the relationships, we'll get more calls on that because everybody's going through something, or
For sure.
some people are just scared to say certain things because they feel like
Yeah.
they're going to offend somebody, or they're going to offend themselves. And that's not even an idea of like thinking like that. Like, you have to be versatile in this type of business anyway. So
Yeah.
when people do call in, we give them a straight answer.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna beat around the bush or anything. I feel like
Yeah.
you beat around the bush, that's when you get problems there, you
Yeah. For
know.
sure. For sure. So we mentioned the show. What other things do you have coming up that you could talk about?
Well, I do have an artist. He's coming out with a new single, Shit's P, the one that I sent to y'all. I'm talking.
Yeah.
Have you seen that flyer that I sent?
I'm not sure, but if I'll cause
He's
that's
from
my
Africa. He's from
I,
Nigeria.
what's his name?
No limitation. It's
I think
Shit's
I
P.
I think I did see it. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you send me his music, I'll play it on my show because I do a radio show also as well.
I definitely will. I definitely can get him on the show.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
he
I'd love to
needs
interview him.
to get more on. He needs to be more visual too at the same time and interacting with people over here in America too. So that's
Yeah.
a definitely a plus that he needs to do, especially if he's trying to come over here and entertain.
So
So
how was it that you got involved in working with him?
well, just dealing with a lot of artists, like not even that. When I went to Atlanta, I was it was just like so many people was coming towards me. That made me feel good, like, okay, I must be that important. So I'm like, well shoot, I'm gonna try this out. So that's what I did,
Yeah.
and I like it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Have you ever tried to do music yourself or be an artist yourself, or do you just prefer to work behind the scenes?
I could do it. I'll do it. I definitely will. I'm not scared to do anything. I am
Yeah.
versatile. I put my yes, um, I'd rather be versatile.
It's breaking up a little bit. I think it froze up. Yeah, you froze up. Hey, can you hear me? Okay, now it's better. It froze up for a second. So if you were going to be an artist yourself, what kind of music would you like to make?
I would really be like maybe a R&B artist.
Okay, so what are some R&B artists that inspire you?
Definitely the old school, like
Yeah.
Anita Baker. Um, you got Stephanie Mills. You know, Sade. Um, just a couple of name of them people that Fantasia. Um, let's see, we got that, and I love gospel too. So,
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
anything with R&B and reggae, I am definitely on it. I don't know
That's
if I can. I don't know if I can do the reggae. I probably can. I ain't gonna say I can't.
That's
I
what's up.
definitely try it.
So so not to like jump back and forth, but back to your artist.
Down to try any and
So
everything. You know.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So so is there any other projects that you have coming out or anything else that you want to
Mama.
promote while we're on here? Your phone keeps kind of breaking up a little bit. Yeah, it keeps like kind of cutting out a little bit.
This phone stuff is
Yeah,
acting up here.
yeah. But but is there anything else you want to touch on or anything before yeah, I'm not trying to rush you or anything. I'm just asking like is there anything else you want to kind of touch on? Like we could be on here as long as you want. Just I just didn't know if there was anything else.
That's fine. I want to give a shout out to y'all definitely. For you know, making me a part of the family.
For
Um,
sure.
definitely is amazing. That I can show my talent and help y'all out too at the same time. Support. You
So a little
know.
bit about well why you brought that up while we're talking about worldwide collaborations. What would how did you end up becoming a member of worldwide collaborations?
So, like I was saying earlier, I had traveled to Atlanta. They had a HHF event down there for the artists, and I end up meeting a couple podcasters that was down there, you know, interviewing, and then I end up bumping into Trio.
Yeah,
So
major
Trio
shouts to
was,
Trill. I just interviewed him
yeah,
yesterday actually.
he he always networking. Like,
Yeah.
I end up because I was about to go interview with HHF. Well, I did interview with them, and then I had stood there for a minute, you know, just to see, you know, how everything goes, because I was just beginning to learn how to do, podcasts and radio and stuff. So I was sit
Mhm.
back and I was looking, I was like, that's kind of
Mhm.
interesting. Now I can get some ideas of what I need to do or what I need to change. And I
Yeah.
bumped into him when he got finished with the HHF interview, and it just went from there. You know, very good and talented guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
I
Very
it was
intelligent
like
too.
God sent. I don't know, but it was like God sent him to me. Like it's for a reason, especially
Mhm.
by me just beginning to do this. You know, the interviews and talking to people, like, artists definitely, because I really want doing artists. I was like doing people with business instead
Mhm.
of the artists, and then I just got into the artists, like, well, sure, if I can talk to artists, then I mean, you might as well just go ahead and go through it and be a support system for them, because I
Yeah.
feel like all artists need a support system.
Definitely.
um if not, I feel like that it's just like it's a downfall for them, because they feel like don't nobody like be there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. And not even that, like, uh you get producers, production companies out here just trying to get people.
Mhm.
And that just made me think, like, maybe I can be an entrepreneur, for these artists or something. Like, tell them what's good or what's bad. Like, don't go for that. Like, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Don't sell it for less just because
Mhm.
you feel like the fame is there. It really isn't. It's a fake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And when you're not being real about your your career and your lifestyle of with how you're trying to go, and you don't want
Mhm.
nobody to mess that up, you
Yeah.
know. So
And
I feel like everybody need a backbone,
yeah. And a
especially the
lot of these.
artists.
Yeah, and a lot of these artists, they're like they say starving artists. Like a lot of people out here are really struggling, so it's
Hmm.
easy to jump on the first opportunity you get because it seems
Definitely,
like a lot, but then in the long run, you're really playing yourself because you're not really going to
definitely,
get anywhere, you know?
just that. Yep,
So
and that's
so so
true.
you so you mentioned mental health a couple times.
Hmm.
What is it that made you become such an advocate about mental health? Because I mean, I'm somebody that deals with mental health myself and stuff. So I'm just curious, like, what was it that made you want to get into that and get so passionate about that?
Well, I used to take care of MRDD. I was a certified nurse, um, and I used to take care of MRDD, and I just fell in love with them because I feel like they ain't have family to come around like that because of the way they were.
Yeah.
Um, and not even that, I have, like, in the families, like in my family, I have, family that's like that too. So it's just like, okay, well, this it must have been a meant for me to do it. Like, and it's just
Yeah.
amazing how you can teach somebody something and it stick to them, because they're
Yeah.
very smart, and don't act like you're
Mhm.
gonna get past them, because you're not. And I
Yeah.
feel like some people make them feel like they're not here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or they're not worthy to think for themselves, talk for themselves,
Mhm.
and they really can. Like, if you take your time and have patience with
Mhm.
the mental illness, I feel like they can get bypass certain things, you know what I mean? And not even that, it's the medicine that's really messing them up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Definitely.
Yeah, it just make things worse.
Yeah.
You can have a downer, you can have an upper, but you got to think about all the other medicines that they're taking. It's a side effect to them,
Mhm.
and it's just making them act weary. And
Yeah.
and they understand that too. Like, they understand how the medicine makes them act, because they could be
Mhm.
normal one time, and then the next time they just going like ballistic.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
mental health is a big thing, you know, and I want everybody to be aware, because it's in our families. We might not see it until something really happened, traumatized them, and it really comes out.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, like and I completely agree with you. Like I had this ex-girlfriend that was bipolar, and like she would take medicine, and whenever she was on the medicine, she'd be real normal. But then whenever she didn't have her medicine, then it was like it was just like her brain rewired. And I feel like the
Hmm.
medicine really made her worse because I feel
Yeah.
like before she was taking the medicine, she wasn't that bad, you know. And it was like the doctors were like, "Yo, you need to take this medicine," because you know I feel like if anybody goes to the doctor is gonna prescribe them something because it's a business of keeping people on medicine. You know what I mean? Like that's why they don't want you. They don't give you the medicine so you take it to get better. They give you the medicine so you keep taking it for the rest of your life, so they keep getting paid like that way. You know?
That
And
part, yes, that's
and I feel
definitely
like
true.
I feel like what you're doing is really good because a lot of times like it means more to have somebody that you know a quote unquote stranger or somebody who's not like a real close to the person to actually
Hmm.
reach out to that person because whenever somebody that's like a family member that's trying to check them on it or trying to talk to them then they feel more attacked, but for a complete
Yeah.
stranger to reach out then it's more
Hmm.
accepting for the person. They feel more loved because it's like that person doesn't have to go through all that bullshit and they feel like they can just talk to them and they can just be themselves, you know.
Where you
And
at? Is you there, honey?
Oh, I guess the signal messed up. Let me see if I can get it back in here. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I got you. All right. Yeah, I guess the signal gave out or something. I don't know.
Bad
That's what,
reception.
yeah, that's what sucks about being on Wi-Fi and stuff. Is
It
sometimes
is.
it goes in
It
and out.
sucks.
But but yeah, so that's a great thing. So what are some of the things that you recommend for people? Because we talked about how medicine doesn't really work, or I mean, not that it doesn't work. I wouldn't say like because I mean, there's people that need medicine. I mean, I want to be an advocate to be like, don't take medicine, like you know what I mean. But I feel like we, especially in America, we over prescribe medicine. Like we try to just put medicine on it as like a band-aid instead of actually going and cleaning and taking the bullet out. You know what I mean? It's like almost like
Right.
getting shot and just putting a band-aid over it instead of actually cleaning it out, you know?
Well, what I say is because since it's all kind of side effects to medication, and you just don't know how medications is gonna react to you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And not even that they when they give it to you, they they're not testing what are they testing for
Yeah.
you to take that medication, and not even that the doses that they're giving too is like ridiculous because then they if it's not working for them then they got to up the dose or they have to down the dose, so
Yeah.
it depends on what kind of medicine they're giving. And not even that they giving high protocol like it's a pain medication,
Yeah.
and high protocol is a mental medicine, and that's
Hmm.
what that'll be the first thing they put everybody on,
Yeah.
especially when you coming in there like that. And I feel like if they get counseling or have somebody like just talk to them, and they talk to people about their issues, their problems. You know what I mean? Because that's the main thing they're gonna do anyway, and they're gonna reminisce about what happened to them in their lifetime and what made them like that, what clicked. And sometimes the people that really like who was normal once before and they turned a different type of way, they had so much trauma in their life um, that made them like that. Especially with people dying. You never know. People probably got killed in front of these people. You know what I mean? Or they
Mhm.
probably did it themselves and they just like going crazy off of it. You know.
Yeah.
Um, Anything you do in your lifetime, you always reminisce about it, or what you could have done better, or what you could have did different.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's the same thing, and I feel like we just need to we need to support and talk to each other. I mean,
Definitely.
and I feel like that I feel like that would be a good thing because I could talk to my clients. I could sit down there and just be normal and talk to them, just like anybody you would do in your family. Like, just sit down and talk to them and get to the point, like, what's on your mind, like, what's going on, why are you acting like this, and they'll tell you. You know,
Yeah.
they're not going to be afraid not to tell you,
Yeah. And
and that's
most people, that's what they're wanting is just somebody to talk to, because a lot of people don't have nobody to talk to, or the people that they have around them they can't talk to because those people are the problem. You know what I mean? Definitely. So what other things would you like to touch on and stuff while I got you on here? Because I'm actually really enjoying the conversation. It's nice to be talking about something different than just music. Because I be
yeah.
having a lot of artists that just, because I do music, so I have a lot of artists that come on here and stuff. So it's actually refreshing to talk to somebody about something different.
Yeah, it is. Well, I am gonna be doing some modeling. My aunt, she's gonna have an event, and it's gonna be like a wine event with models and all the good stuff, partying and listen to music, and we're gonna have a couple artists there too at the same time. But the main thing I love is just the modeling thing because I get to go out there and express me.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. So
yeah,
how long have you been in the modeling?
about 3 years.
3 years. What was it that I mean, other than being pretty, what was it that made you want to start being a model?
Like, well, my aunt, like I told you, my aunt, she has a boutique and she does events like this all the time. In which we was in a HBCU event too, not too long ago, and that's a college that it's around the world, and we try to get people to come and gather around and make it a good place to be, especially if you're trying to recruit college
Mhm.
students, to make them have the best choice and not just go for something just because you feel like it might seem like it sounds good, but at the end of the day, it's not. By the
Yeah.
time you get finished paying your life to
Mhm.
to them, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? You be like, huh, I'm
Yeah.
tired now. Now, what's next for me to do? But
Mhm.
we model for them. We model for a lot of people. And not even that, we supposed to be modeling for somewhere in Los Angeles or something like that. But we don't know when that's going to be. But hopefully it's soon. We should have been out there for the Super Bowl, but you know
Yeah.
how that goes. But that's going to be fun too. The Super
So
Bowl.
so is it do you model for particular brands, or is it kind of like those fashion shows like you see in, where they'll be on the runway and they're wearing kind of like where, what I mean, where it's like, is it actually, what I mean though, is it actually like clothes that like people would actually wear, or is it kind of like because you know how like those Paris fashion shows where they'll be wearing things and you'll be like, man, you never see nobody walking around like that. Like
Right.
they'll just
Definitely.
come out with a trash bag on or looking like Kanye's wife or something. Walking around.
Yeah, I bet I have on no trash bag. If it is, it's gonna be a bubble coat.
For sure. So y'all
But
do more
no,
like
it's
Actual
It's like a
streetwear, right?
casual, like it's like a real dressy type,
Okay.
like you finna go on a runway, like you about to go down
Yeah.
a red carpet, like
Okay.
um
Okay.
that type. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it's pretty interesting. We do men too.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you said it. You may have said it earlier. I remember you mentioned Atlanta, but where are you located at?
I'm in Cincinnati right now, but I am from
Okay.
Atlanta, Georgia. But
Okay.
yeah, and I just located in Cincinnati, Ohio, which I'm so ready to go back home
Oh yeah.
ASAP. Yes,
Really?
I can't wait. It's happening, and hopefully it's going to be this year. So everything is working to the point that everything's coming to light of what I've been thinking about, manifesting about, like all that. So things is working the way God wanted to work. So he just leading me to the places where I need to be. That's all that matters to me. As long as it's good places too. No
So
bad places.
So what would be your first piece of advice that you would give to like an upcoming model or somebody who's starting to try to because like we mentioned before with the music, you know how everybody there's a lot of traps and people be in a lot of things and stuff. So like I'm sure that's like that in any industry. So what would be some advice you would give to like anybody that's trying to become a model, and what would be the best way for them to really, start getting themselves out there.
So pretty much I would say be yourself. Definitely be yourself. Don't change nothing about you. I feel like it's a lot of people in that kind of industry try to change just to fit in. You don't have to do that. Be yourself. Go for what you know. Run that walkway like you supposed to, like you own it, and you do,
Yeah,
and keep your
yeah,
head up. Like, and don't go anorexic either. You don't have to be anorexic to be a model.
yeah, definitely.
But definitely positive note, be yourself. It's
Yeah,
always good to be yourself in any type of atmosphere. I don't care where you at. Just be yourself and just make it yours. You know what I mean? Like this is your runway. You gonna walk it like you supposed to. You know,
yeah,
just like if you're doing it for somebody else, just make it your own. And you'll
yeah,
feel more comfortable about it. You'll know how to act, and not even that perform in front of because you have to perform. The walk is a performance.
yeah,
you
definitely,
know. So,
definitely.
and keep your posture up. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, cause really, like I think like there's a lot of beauty. Like majority of the beauty comes in confidence. You know what I mean? It's about the way you
Good.
carry yourself. And the way
Hmm.
you. It's almost just like with dancing. Like if somebody could be sitting there dancing, if they're like all awkward, unsure of it, then they're gonna look weird. But they could be doing some
Yeah.
off the wall moves. But if they're feeling themselves and they look like they're having a good
Yeah.
time, then it's gonna come off like that.
And not
For
even that,
sure.
it might be they dance. It might be their
Yeah.
signature.
Yeah, for sure.
It could be their signature dance. I mean, because I know definitely me. I'm not scared to like show me. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
out there on the dance floor. Definitely is, and if I can get a whole crowd out there with me, it's going down.
yeah,
Just be yourself. That's all I say. Is be yourself because if you not being yourself, you're gonna be like weird. Like you're
yeah,
gonna feel weird about yourself because you know it's not you. And
yeah,
then you just
true.
putting on an act, and then somewhere down the line, something gonna mess up because you're not being yourself. You're
Yeah,
not being normal as you're supposed to. You know.
yeah. And that's really great advice. Like that, you could take that advice into anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you could take that with you into anything because you got to be yourself. Because I feel like too many people try to imitate people instead of
Mhm.
just being themselves. Whenever you know what I mean? Like there's already that person, or it's just like for instance, like with me and like music and stuff. I feel like a lot of people they try to imitate these artists, but what they don't
Mhm.
realize is by doing that you're giving yourself a shelf life because if you don't get your music out by this time, then everybody's gonna be on to the next wave. But
Definitely.
if you're just being original and creating by yourself and stuff, then you don't really have a shelf life because what I mean it hasn't been done yet. And it's the same with like what you're talking about.
It is, and I feel like it's a lot of people about to be like T Pain here in a minute.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with the. We got a couple. We got some questions in the comments. So Young Tizzy, like I could put it up here maybe. So Young Tizzy says, "Why would models choose your agency over others?"
Definitely, I think just because they see something in them, definitely being themselves was the point of an agency wanting to get you. And not even that your performance mean a lot. Um, like I said, the walk, you have to learn how to walk. Your posture has to be good. And they look at things like that, you know,
Hmm.
and not even that, like sometimes they want you to like perform a little bit, you know, just to get
Yeah.
yourself out there. And that's what agencies they really do look at. And it's all types of agencies. So it depends on what agency that you want to go to. And over others, who cares? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
still be you no matter if you can't get with an agency or you just being yourself or with others. Especially like boutiques. It's a lot of boutiques out there that be looking for models. You know, they
Hmm.
would definitely pay for them. But the agency is totally different because I feel like models have to pay their way.
Hmm.
They really do. They really have to pay their way, just like artists. It's nothing different about it. Maybe you might get some agencies that might pay, but other than that, I feel like I'd rather be with an agency, definitely, because you never know who you might get to come and look at you and want to, pull you and have you up under their wing too.
Yeah, for sure. So we got another question by Young Tizzy, which major shout out to Young Tizzy. He's actually because this is sponsored by Worldwide Collaboration and Young Tizzy or Quality Music Management. Young Tizzy's actually the owner of Quality Music Management. But he's got another question for you. Is so what's the hardest thing you would say beginning models will face? He comes with the good questions.
They
I
do.
was gonna try to have him on here, but once I started the stream, I didn't want to mess up the stream by bringing him on here. So, but we got him on here like this anyway. So, what's the hardest thing you would say beginning models will face?
Um, the other models, because you
Yeah,
get other models that's probably um more elevated than you are, more noticeable, and not even noticeable. They know what they doing.
yeah,
You know, from a beginner, you feel kind of weird because you like this is my first time, so I don't really know unless you had some classes. You really just be like, I don't even know how I'm gonna get down this runway, how I'm gonna get back, what I
yeah.
do I have to do? Do I have to twirl? Do I have a twist? Do I do cartwheels? You just don't know. As a beginner, you're very
Hmm.
confused about how you would be against other models because they are very talented and they have done it longer than you. You
Yeah.
know, so
So what do you think is harder? Do you think it's harder to be a runway model or to be a still picture model? Like like where they just kind of the models that just wear the clothes and for catalogs and stuff like that, or do you think it's harder to be like a runway model?
I think it's harder to be a runway because you have to get back, you have to get back and rush and put on something else,
Yeah.
get back out there on time before the other models that comes back. So it's and then you have to get yourself fixed up. It's a lot that you got to do from a
Yeah.
runway and from a magazine model.
Yeah.
Magazine model, you just standing there and you can take your time and get
Yeah.
yourself together and get back out there and do your photo shoot. But a runway,
Hmm.
no, that's very
Yeah.
hard. So you have
And
to, you got to have energy too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and as well with like with the still picture, they could kind of like go and touch up the pictures. They can do more with,
Right.
and like you mentioned, having to change the outfits, you got to make sure that whenever you're changing your clothes, you're not messing up your
Mhm.
hair, you're not messing up nothing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
so our next question from young Tizzy is, how do you feel about the new modeling world now versus the old days?
Well, back in the day, well, they bringing stuff back in the day back, and they putting it in their own little styles now. And the styles that they have now is more aggressive, more action. Just like you was talking about a plastic bag, like they will go down,
Yeah,
they would go
I've seen
down
some
a
crazy
runway
stuff.
with a plastic bag on to make it look good.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some crazy, crazy runway things, like people walking around with a tent, just like
yes,
and
yes,
all sorts of
big
stuff.
shoes
So,
on, them big ugly shoes.
yeah, so they look like the
Definitely
cartoon boots and stuff.
Mickey Mouse shoes. That's what I call them.
Yeah, yeah, and those things are expensive too. That's what's so crazy about them. It looks like some cartoon character stuff, like
Yes,
something like Animaniacs or something.
yeah, and that's the difference from back then and now. So you see how you see the fashion now is just like crazy
Mhm.
out of your head. Like, and not even that. Back in the day, we used to wear bell bottoms.
Yeah,
Men used to wear them tight with bell bottoms. Women used to do the same thing. You know what I mean? So it was very different back in the day than it is now. And then not even that, it's like um more of the young people are reacting to the fashion now because they have their own, mindset of what they styles that they want to be, especially for actors, actress, artists, because main thing they want to get out there and look good. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So that's
yeah,
the difference from back in the day and now. It's totally different. It is they just doing a remix on the back in the day clothes now, but they
yeah.
wearing them still to this day.
Okay, so the next question is from Young Tizzy. How would you describe a well put together model? He's got some good questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start giving him
Me
the
for
right
an
my questions.
example, I'm an all around good model. I don't care what it is. You could be a fashion model, you can be a role model, you could be all kind of models. Definitely, I can say I am a altogether model. I am. Like you have to, and I feel like all of them is as one. They all beautiful. I don't discriminate on any models because you have thick models, you have skinny models, you have medium models, you have all kind of models, you have kids models. So all together, I feel like all models are put together because they're in somebody else's clothing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
and,
not
and
them. The clothes is don't make them really. You
yeah,
make the clothes.
yeah, and
So
there's always somebody that can relate to, like, there's so many different people in the world, and there's always so many similar people. You know what I mean? So it's like somebody can always see a model and be like, oh, I can see myself as wearing that, or I could see
right.
that. You know what I mean? Also, so next one is, how do you pick models that you want to work with, or that you would rather work with?
First of all, I say you have to have a personality. You have to smile. And if you come in there like you just a bomb and you just like you just gonna knock it out the box and you're not, like I don't like the sedity models. I really don't because I feel like you coming in there and you have different models that never modeled before and you make them feel so little just because you are there. Some people just not there, and I don't like them kind of models. If you come in there and you be yourself and you do what you got to do, you walk that runway like you supposed to, and you wear them clothes like you supposed to, we don't have no issue.
Yeah, for
But
sure,
don't
for
come in
sure.
there like you own everything and everybody. That's
Do
not
you
gonna
feel
work.
like do you feel like there's kind of like how you said, like whenever we were talking about the new models and stuff, do you feel like there's kind of a line between like the older, like not the older models like in age, but just the more experienced models? Do you feel like they're accepting of the new models, or do you feel like they're it's kind of like how in the music industry where they kind of try to shut them out and try to play them?
That part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's sad that it's like that.
yeah, you get some agencies that's like that, and I say that's not fair because everybody should have a chance to make that their dream if they feel like it. Don't belittle
Yeah,
somebody just because they want to know how to learn about certain things. And I feel like in that kind of industry, pretty girls, you know, they feel like they could just rule the world. But, I feel like, no, you can't do that. If you can't help or teach another person, then who are you?
yeah,
You
for
know?
sure. And everybody didn't know anything at one point. We were all nobody was
Right.
born like knowing it. Whenever we were born, we didn't even know how to walk or do nothing. Like so, it's like
Hmm.
everybody should be more opening about people learning and stuff because But so the next one is from yours truly, young Tizzy. What you feel is the hardest job to train up an upcoming model? What do you feel like is the hardest job to train an upcoming model for?
Get them to remember the walkway.
Yeah.
Definitely remember, because certain places are different, and wherever you model at, if you don't have a stage and you have to walk the runway down an aisle, that's kind of like it's kind of hard because you right there in front of the people. You know what I mean? Like you're
Hmm.
model in front of, and I don't like that, but I still do it. But
Yeah.
I feel like that's the that's that's the one right there, the training upcoming, for a
So
model.
what kind of advice would you give for upcoming model or somebody that deals with like that maybe is feeling anxious or has anxiety and stuff, like what would you feel like would be the best way to deal with that? Like for example, like I'm an artist, so like before I go perform I like to like smoke weed because it calms me down, so like
Right.
what would you like, and you know how they have that old saying like picture everybody naked or whatever. So what would be your advice to like if somebody was kind of panicking a little bit, it's maybe their first time going on the runway, what would be your advice to try to kind of calm them down? I mean, of course
Pretty
everybody's
much, you
different,
gotta
but
take a 10 seconds. You gotta take a 10 seconds, breathe. It's
yeah,
okay. Like everybody's here doing the same thing, and just like be yourself. Just walk it, work it. You
yeah,
gotta work it. You gotta work it. Ain't no scare. You can't go back. You can't go
yeah,
back. You gotta go forward with it. So sometimes you just have to calm down and get your mind right and be like, okay, I got this. I can do this.
yeah.
You got to take a 10 seconds though every time. You have to take a 10 seconds just to think and get and gather your thoughts to make sure
Hmm.
everything is going to be good when you get out there and perform,
Yeah, for sure,
you know.
for sure. So let
And
me see
don't
if we
rush
got.
it. Don't rush it. It's okay. You got time, you know.
So
Like,
what do you think is the ideal walk? Like, because I know like you don't want to like just go down there and hurry up and run down the but you don't want to go too slow. Like, what would be your best advice for a model? Like, if they're sitting there trying to figure out their walk, like, what would be your best advice for them?
listen to the music.
Listen to the music, just go with the vibe.
You have to go with the beat.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't be offbeat walking to nobody's music. It's just like dancing. I mean, I ain't saying skip and hop, but you can't, rock the beat with that
Y'all come
walk
down just
though.
sliding down.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, it's definitely you can do that because that's what I do. I listen to the music and I just rock with the music.
so
That's how I
almost just
walk.
so it's almost like just kind of don't overthink it. Just kind of go with it.
Right. Yeah, just
Exactly.
you have to listen to the music because the music is your walk. You know, you have to go with the beat as you walking down the aisle. You don't want to skip a beat, but you definitely want to go with the beat. Definitely.
Yeah.
I would tell all models to listen to the music. And you want to listen to it first before you go down because you'll know what you're supposed to do when you get out there.
So do you feel like it's good for them to maybe like you said like listen to the music and practice it, or do you think that's kind of too much overthinking?
No, we supposed to practice before we do a runway.
Yeah,
Definitely, you
for
want to
sure.
practice. You just don't want to get out there and be like, okay, I know what I'm doing, and then something change, and then you be like, oh, well, now I got to change this. Now I got to change that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would definitely listen to the music for that runway.
So if you could change one, this is another question from Young Tizzy, which major shout outs to quality music management and worldwide collaborations. But if you could
Shout
change
out. Thank you for
one
all these
thing,
questions.
yeah, for sure. He's actually he's a business manager. He's actually my business manager. That's how
Mhm.
I ended up getting involved in worldwide collaborations from Young Tizzy because I moved out here to St. Louis, going from Houston. I moved out here about 6 months ago and got involved with him. So definitely shout out
That's
to quality
amazing.
music management. But if you could change one thing in the modeling world or add, what would it be and why?
Hmm. I don't think uh I want the models to eat. I don't want you to not eat. That's where they go wrong because they feel like they have to be a certain size to model. Even though you do got discrimination these days against models, all types of models, I feel like that would be one of them, discriminating against the little girls and the big girls, But I definitely say the smaller models, do not discourage yourself from eating. You still
Yeah,
gonna look good. You still can do what you gonna do, and that's how these models are getting sick and they're just flopping off the wings because they're not doing their health wise is not up to par because they're trying to be perfect.
yeah,
They trying to be a zero. Like who want to be a zero? It's
yeah,
okay to it's okay to have some kind of meat on your bones and you still
yeah,
can be beautiful as you go along. But
yeah.
that's
And
one
it,
thing is about discrimination in the modern business, definitely.
yeah, and it's good that we're getting into a place that, like, cause like in the '90s and stuff, like it was all like real thin and just,
Hmm.
that sick look was in and stuff. So it's good that,
Anorexic, yes.
yeah, so it's good that we're getting into a place where, what I mean, more healthy people are, what I mean, in and stuff, because that's really,
Hmm.
what's more attractive and stuff, honestly. Nobody wants
Right.
somebody that you could just see their spinal cord sticking out looking like a dinosaur, you know? You
Like
know
you
what I'm
about to
saying?
play violin on their back.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's like one of them old washer boards, like wash your clothes, all of this shit.
Right, skateboard.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, I feel like it's discrimination in the modern business, but it's getting better because I feel like they all have their own group now. So you have the
Hmm.
big girls models now, you have the medium sized girls models now, you have the skinny. So they all pretty much trying to come together. And I was with this one agency, and she didn't discriminate. Definitely, she didn't. She had small, medium, and large models, and they
Hmm.
all are beautiful. And I
Hmm.
feel like just it's dealing with the agency because they pick and choose who they really do want. You know what I mean? And if they just want all skinny girls, they're not gonna look at nobody else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like I feel like it's like a business where it could be you could get your feelings hurt really easy. You know what I mean? By
Mhm.
like by maybe like not getting picked or like what I mean. It'd be
Mhm.
easy to get discouraged. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And be like, oh,
Definitely.
I'm not pretty enough or I'm not this enough. You know what I
Right.
mean? But like you said, there's a place for everybody. You know what I mean? There
Mhm.
really is. Like there's a spot for you just gotta find where you fit in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And don't settle for it either because sometimes people need to get said something too because I feel like or be put in a place. because some
Mhm.
people can be so harsh these days. Like, come on, it's not even that serious to be like that. That's how a lot of
Yeah,
people lose good people too at the same time because you're being like that. You know,
yeah. Well,
you have
and
to be
I feel
more
like
lenient.
a lot of times it's like how they say like hurt people. Like a lot of times like a lot of people, especially online and stuff, are the most brutal.
Hmm.
But those people are are the same people that in public they're the most pushover, like not unconfrontational person around. But then whenever they get home, they take it all out because in the real world they're getting pushed around and they can't, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so they become like internet trolls and stuff like that online, you know.
Definitely,
And
yeah,
it's definitely
that's
it's
true.
yeah, and it's definitely like, you know, whenever and I feel like people just have to understand that it's not nothing wrong with you, it's something wrong with those people. You know what I mean?
Definitely,
Like
you said
anybody
it
that's gonna
right.
really just hate on somebody that they don't even know, or just sit
Hmm.
there and comment and leave 35 comments hating on this person that they don't even know. Like honestly, you should take that flattering because you know what I mean? Like nobody, you know what I mean? You're not acknowledging them, so they're taking the time out to be that, you know, upset about something that you're doing. Then at least you're putting some kind of impact on them, you know, regardless, you know.
They say your biggest haters are your fans, and that is so daggone true. Like it is so true because I can like feel when somebody trying to hate on me, and you don't even know me from nowhere. And I'm a good person to get along with, talk to, everything. So
Hmm.
it's just like if you don't want none of that from me, why are you being like that towards me? What is your issue? It
Yeah,
can't be it's not my issue at all. I'm not gonna make it my issue. I'm gonna make it your issue because you the one trying to bully on me and I ain't did nothing to you. Is it
yeah,
just because I'm being me and you don't like that? Won't you try it?
yeah.
You know?
And really, I'd be more worried if people weren't saying anything. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you know, because that's what their real problem is because nobody probably really acknowledges them. So the only way that they can get any acknowledgement is by putting out hate and getting somebody to pay attention to them. You know, and it's sad. You know, and it goes
Definitely.
right back into mental health, and
Yes.
they really just need somebody to be able to talk to and talk about things with and be able to get through what they're getting through. Like how we're talking about, like it's almost like they're putting a band-aid on a bullet hole instead of going and you know, I mean, taking the time. It's gonna be painful to
Mhm.
get that bullet out, but after you get that bullet out, it's gonna heal. As long as you just put that band-aid in it, it's always just gonna be there. It ain't ever gonna change. You know what I mean?
And that's true.
So, so we got another one from the co-president of Worldwide Collaborations. It says Christopher Lee Cheney. It says, what do you think of worldwide collaborations, and has worldwide collaborations changed your life in any way since you joined?
Well, worldwide collaboration, I feel like it's a good thing because it's worldwide and you not discriminating against any artist, any because y'all do a lot. It ain't just music, it's more than music. So
Mm-hmm.
by you not discriminating against other countries or different states, like you worldwide. So the worldwide just means a lot right there. And how it changed my life is I feel like I have a family. We
Yeah.
all we all, communicate with each other, support each other. That's a good thing, especially as being as a company of trying to make sure you get good people to gather around together and make it peaceful as possible and work together. It's just amazing. Like you can't beat that anywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, a lot of companies that needs to be just like that.
Yeah.
Definitely, because I feel like if you don't have any support and you have a team, it's just ridiculous to have a team and you're not showing any support with each other. Like,
Yeah.
what is it to be in the team if you can't do that?
Yeah, and it's good that everybody does, for the most part, does work together and stuff like that. Because like you said, like there's a lot of businesses, and like you mentioned that they don't that they're all a team or just like teams in general, and they don't even work together. It's almost like it's almost like a
Mhm.
basketball team, and they're over there just blocking each other's shots, and the other team is just standing there like watching them. You know what I mean? It's like you
Right.
gotta work together. You know?
Yes, and that's true. And by me being in a radio, industry and being with the radio, and I don't want to discriminate against them, but you have to be a team. And I tell them this all the time. Like, if you can't work together, like, what is the point for you having a business if you can't work together? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Show each other support, share one another's. It's nothing wrong with that. Like, I post something on a page, like, it does not cost for
yeah.
somebody to support. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know, and why is it so hard for people to do that, especially if you want them to do it for you,
Mhm.
but you can't
Yeah,
do that from them. I think that's like not cool at all. I really
yeah,
don't. And some people say they don't care. Yes, you do care, because I
yeah,
care. I
yeah,
definitely care. You know what I mean? So as I'm out here supporting you and you're not supporting me, that's not a team, and it's not. You can't. We just can't do that.
yeah. And it's crazy that it's like that because it's like by doing that and people not supporting each other, like nobody's really getting anywhere. You know what I mean? Whenever it's
No.
like if everybody kind of just came together, like with like how worldwide collaboration started working together, then you're gonna get a lot further. So then whenever like let's say like if everybody just kind of came together, was just supporting and helping each other, then whenever somebody does get into a place where they could actually like reach back and really be able to pull up these artists or pull up these models or pull up these
Hmm.
companies and stuff, then it's going to be better in the long run. Instead of
Yeah.
it just goes to the saying like crabs in a bucket. You know, everybody just pulling each other down because they don't want them to,
They
the
don't
other
want to see
crab to get
nobody
out the
win.
bucket.
They don't want to see
Yeah,
nobody win. That's so
yeah.
crazy. Like,
Mhm.
and like when you get there, don't think you won't get knocked back down to where you
Yeah,
supposed to been at in the first place, just because you thought you was gonna be better than everybody. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
Mhm.
when you do that, like that tells a lot about that person. You know, you don't want to mess with that person anymore. Like,
Yeah.
definitely, because they offer themselves and they out to get something that they're not even trying to get you where you need to
Yeah.
be, even though you help them get where they need to be, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like we all need to support each other in them kind of situations. Like, one person just can't get to the top. We all gonna get to the top. Definitely
Yeah.
is. And not even that, we all do something totally different. We all
Mhm.
don't do the same thing, so we can
Yeah.
teach each other what needs to be done. And not even that, we can help each other whatever it needs to be done. If this person can't do it, the next person can.
Yeah. Exactly. Deeper more in this. Yeah. For sure. For sure. So anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up, or any shout outs you want to give, or anything, or before we do that, let's just go ahead and tell people a little bit. Let's just tell people about where they can find your show at again,
Okay,
and what
so
time
y'all
the
can
show comes
find my
on.
show on Regina Spicy period Solo. That's on Facebook. I definitely always post my shows on there. And I do stream, so if you want to get on my link, I have to send it to you just like you did. Um, and also, it's supposed to post on my Instagram too, so I gotta go check that and make sure it's been posted. But I am on YouTube too. You can definitely find me on there, Talk with Gina, on Busy One Entertainment, and
Okay.
on Busy One Entertainment on Facebook. You can definitely find me on that stream that we have too. And tap in. I want everybody to tap in. 6 o'clock on Mondays. What's your point is on Wednesdays from 8 to 10. So, and 6 to 7 on Mondays.
Yeah,
And that
young Sidney said to book him. He said book me. I'll hop on your show. He's an artist. He does rap music and he's does management. He's got a reality show he's coming out with. Like he'd actually be a really good person to interview because he's got a lot of stuff going on. Like lots of stuff.
definitely.
to talk
Definitely,
about
if
for
you want to
sure.
come on this Monday, you definitely can. And I try to play a couple, music when I do have artist songs, so people can know who you are. You know,
For sure.
especially in a different state. So, and I'm in Cincinnati, so and not even that we in different types. We in like maybe 15 different states. The radio station is so
So
it's
so
it's a lot of
um
people that's gonna be listening.
so how do you feel about how, which I don't know how much you can really say because since you're in radio, but
Hmm.
how do you feel about radio nowadays? Because it used to be like radio used to be like where everybody kind of went and listened to music. It used to, I feel like radio used to be kind of put on higher standards, and then now it's more. I feel like a lot of these artists are just kind of like quote unquote industry plants or whatever you want to call them, where it's like it doesn't. So how do you feel about, if you can speak on it? How do you feel about the way radio has changed, and what do you feel about the future of radio?
I feel like since they did put like podcasts on the radios, you could get a lot of more information about things that's going on around the world too at the same time. And I even that
Yeah.
you can get you some kind of relief about what we talk about and you might be going through the same thing. So I think it's
Hmm.
it's different, but it's a good different.
Yeah.
And that gives and not even at the podcasters, I feel like that gives them a job,
Hmm.
to express themselves too at the same time. And the people that's they around, you wanna and sometimes you just want to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel
So,
like it's go ahead.
is it a talk, or is it a talk radio, or is it a music radio?
It's both.
Oh, it's both. Okay. What kind of music do y'all play?
All music.
Just all music. Do
Hmm.
you do they have to be like can independent artists send in their music, or does it have to be like
Yeah,
through,
yeah.
so independent
And,
artists
and
can send in
and
their
yeah,
music?
we could just download it to our system and we can play it.
Okay. I got a
Hmm.
new single out that I'll send you if you want to play it. It's actually pretty
Sure,
good. It's
you have
called
to
Up
send
to
it to
Money.
my email.
Okay. Yeah. Whenever we get off here, I'll get your email for sure.
Definitely.
But
And
okay, so
Young, yes, he can come on my show this Monday if he wants. I have to put him on the fly, so he's gonna have to contact me so
okay,
I can get.
he said set it up, B Hills. You just got promoted to my booking manager. So I guess I'm the
Yeah,
new booking manager. So I guess I'll get it set up for you.
definitely. Okay, cool. That
All
part.
right.
We're gonna have some fun. We definitely are.
For sure, for sure. So I appreciate you coming on here. I really do. It was an honor talking to you,
Definitely.
and it was really refreshing and stuff talking about different stuff, you know what I mean? And I really enjoyed,
Mhm.
talking to you and stuff like that. So
That
so
was my
anytime you got
pleasure.
yeah, anytime you got anything else you want to come on here, I mean the door's always open. Just let me know and you can come on here anytime, you know.
Okay, and definitely you can too. So
All right.
y'all be tapping in. Don't be scared to get on my page. I'm gonna tap y'all right on
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna
I
have some
think
fun.
I think the first time I seen you, I checked out your show and I shared it out, and I think that's how I kind of got to that's how we first started talking. Because I remember I shared
Yeah,
it and then you like messaged me and thanked me for sharing it. I think that's how we first started talking. But for
definitely. And
sure,
I definitely support everything that y'all do and anything y'all have me promote, anything like y'all just tap in. I'm good for it.
for sure, for sure. All right, well, I appreciate you coming on here, and everything. Major shout outs to Worldwide Collaborations. Major shout outs Christopher Lee Cheney, Trill Will. Major shout outs to Quality Music Management and Young Tizzy. And is there any shout outs that you want to give out before we get out of here?
Everybody you just shouted out, and
All
definitely
right.
everybody you just shouted out, and I'm gonna shout out myself too because I feel like I have did a wonderful job not going to media school and all this other stuff. Like I didn't came a
Yeah,
very long way from where I was and to
yeah,
now. So shout outs to Regina. You
yeah.
already
Major
know
shout
I'm good for it. And Busy One
outs.
Radio though. Yeah, I
For
can't
sure,
forget them either because if I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing if I wasn't on a radio.
for sure, for sure. All right, well, I appreciate you being on here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a
All
blessed
right,
night.
you too.